Welcome, dear listener. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and imagine a town that never quite made it onto any map. A place called Dry Creek, tucked between stretches of silent cornfields and sky too wide for comfort. This is not a ghost story. It's not even about the end of the world. It's about what happens when the world is rewritten. And you don't know who's holding the pen. Now let's begin.
Chapter 1. The Signal from the Sky.
Dry Creek was the kind of town where time slowed to a crawl. The fields stretched into silence, and radios still hummed with 1940s jazz. But that night, the signal changed. At 11:47 p.m., Richard Vale, once a physicist and now a schoolteacher, heard a strange broadcast on his shortwave radio. The voice was cracked, looping, "The 13th veil has opened. The 13th veil has opened." Richard adjusted the knobs. The frequency was scrambled, static-heavy, but there was rhythm behind the interference, like breathing. Outside, a low light shimmered above the cornfields, hovering unnaturally still. Richard's Geiger counter, kept from old habits, ticked faintly. He frowned. Something wasn't right.
Chapter 2. The Changing Books.
Evelyn Moore, town librarian, noticed it first. The Little Prince, now opened with diagrams of bomb casings. Shakespeare's plays were replaced by political transcripts in a dead language. "No one believes me," she whispered into her journal. The pages changed overnight. Ink twisted on its own, like it remembered something else. One book, she swore, called her name. She took it home.
Chapter 3. The Forbidden Drawing.
Tommy, a quiet boy who hardly spoke, began to draw in his sleep. His parents found the sketches scattered across the floor. A creature with cable fingers, hunched over an ancient typewriter. Tommy didn't know what it was. Or maybe he did. "It's writing us," he mumbled, eyes still closed. "It's almost done with me." That night, Evelyn dreamt of a library filled with fog, and heard her son's voice calling from the shelves.
Chapter 4. The Buried Project.
Richard broke the lock on an old cabinet in his attic. Inside, files from Spectre Sky, a secret Cold War experiment. They had transmitted a mathematical language into the stratosphere, expecting silence. They got something else. A response. A pattern. A pulse. And then the team began to forget. Richard remembered just enough to know the veil was not a metaphor. It was a place.
Chapter 5. The Silent Library.
The hidden basement beneath Dry Creek Library had been sealed since the 1930s. Evelyn found it by accident, following the sound of typing. Rows of machines clacked without hands. Papers spilled across the stone floor, naming every citizen in town. At the center, a single chair waited, empty. On it, a file titled, "Revised Evelyn Moore. Draft 3. She opened it. Inside were memories she had never lived.
Chapter 6. The Child Without Memory.
In the mist behind her house, Evelyn saw her son. He had died 5 years ago. But there he stood. Same face. Same laugh. But when she called Daniel, he turned his head slowly and asked, "What is mother?" Evelyn collapsed to her knees.
Chapter 7. The Symbols on Skin.
People were changing. Symbols appeared along their arms, wrists, behind the ears, like code. Richard decoded one sequence on his neighbor's arm. It read, "Draft 2. Error in empathy." They were being rewritten, and some of them no longer remembered who they used to be.
Chapter 8. The Machine That Rewrites People.
Richard and Evelyn descended beneath the cornfields. There, in a dim chamber lined with pulsating cables, sat a creature made of ink and shadow. It typed ceaselessly, spools feeding from the floor. Each keystroke echoed in their minds. The machine turned. It had Evelyn's face, but it smiled wrong.
Chapter 9. Tommy, the Last Writer.
Tommy was the last unwritten. He stood before the original typewriter, ancient and alive. I can finish the story, he whispered. But if I write, I'll forget who I am. He dipped the nib in his own blood, pressed a photo of his family beside the page, and began with one word. Remember.
Chapter 10. Perhaps you too are just a draft.
Morning. Dry Creek woke up. Ordinary. No one remembered the fog, the machines, the rewritten lives. Richard sat alone, older than before. He held a single book, The 13th Veil. Its last line glowed faintly. Perhaps you too are only a draft.
Thank you for walking through the fog with us. Whatever world you return to now, pause just once and ask yourself, who wrote your life? Until next time, stay awake. And remember, goodbye for now.